You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 beep.
Everybody, this is round two, our second segment of our Saturday show. Monday morning show. I've got Scott Hobbs over. Scott, the daylight is starting to make its way over the horizon this morning, is it not?
It sure is. It sure is. Seems like the days are getting longer. I'm enjoying that.
I am too. I had someone the other day. Days don't get longer. I said, okay, you're right. The days don't get longer, but the sunshine gets longer. I like having more sunshine out there, and that's where I know y'all stay busy out there because y'all do work inside and outside, and it's a lot easier if you're going to work outside if it's not so hot or not so cold out there. And I bet this would be the time of year to probably be getting some of that work done that the outside work, like a new drain field put in or something. Because, I mean, no one wants to work when it's freezing cold or really, really hot. And this is the perfect time of year to do it. The weather's beautiful.
It really is. You know, we get a bunch of frozen pipes and it's still cold out trying to fix those things. You can't stay dry. Your fingers are numb, feel like they're going to fall off. It is tough.
You sound like you're working on cars.
Right, yeah, right.
Same thing here, man. It's cold, it's wet, my hands are numb. You know, I have to start the car up, get it warm to heat my hands up where they'll start to work. But yeah, this is a tough business because we're in the elements out here. But we know that springtime is right around the corner, and we know the rainy seasons are right around the corner too. When does the rainy season start here? Around March or April? I can't remember.
I think so. Right? What is it? April showers bring May flowers?
Well, when they come, they also bring flooded septic tank and drain fields. And people that haven't had their septic tank just looked at or see if it's working like it's supposed to, is a kind of a rule of thumb to have a septic tank looked at to keep it from becoming a problem before it becomes a problem?
Sure.
What is the rule of thumb on this? Okay.
You should have your tank pump cleaned out every 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
And the reason for that is it's a tank, and it's kind of like your stomach. It digests the things that come into it. So the fats, oils, and grease will float to the top. The sludge, the other things that break down, they'll sink to the bottom, and then you have a layer of water, clear water in the middle, and that actually goes into the drain field and soaks into the soil. So over time, between 3 and 5 years, those two crusts, the one on the top and one on the bottom, they get closer and closer together. And once they get to a point where they're touching, then you don't have anything going into the drain field, or you're passing bad stuff into the drain field. So it's 3 to 5 years is the rule of thumb. And if you pass stuff in the drain field, that usually is like shooting the drain field, killing the drain field. It clogs it up where you can't use it anymore. Is that what happens? It really is. Okay. You know, the modern septic systems have a filter, that catches those particles before they go into the drain field. So, if you're in that situation, that filter's clogged. But if you don't have a modern system, then you have those particles that are going in and they're clogging up soil. You're allowing the fats, oils, and grease into the soil, and before you know it, you're spending a lot of money to replace a drain field. Well, I did not know they had a filter on there to keep from clogging the drain field up, but I guess that's good. But in a way, it's kind of bad also, because when that filter clogs up, it's going to back up into your house a lot quicker, I bet. Is that what ends up happening? Well, it could, but it's saving your drain field. Yeah, so, that's thousands of dollars right there. Sure, if the system's designed properly, you have a clean out on the outside before it goes to the tank. You can simply pop that cap, call for service, and get somebody out right away before it damages your home. So if the system's designed properly and you understand the system and what to do in the situation where you have a stoppage, then you're okay. All right. Well, we talked 3 to 5 years. Now, we also talk about, you said it was like your stomach, how you digest things and like it's supposed to. And you should never put anything down your septic tank that you haven't eaten first. It's kind of a rule of thumb. Right. you don't want to put, you have a garbage disposal. That's one thing I had no idea was a no-no till I started talking to you. I didn't think about a garbage disposal. You said, okay, it chews it all up. It's going to pre-digest it, so to speak. But really it doesn't. All it does is make little small pieces to pass, and it just sits in the septic tank and literally ferments, I guess, Sure.
I guess
it doesn't digest like it should,
Mm-hmm.
and it potentially could float on through into your drain field as well.
And that's not a good thing. It's rather expensive out there. But I know that over the years, I'm seeing a lot of plumbing businesses diversify. They're doing more than just doing indoor plumbing. They're doing remodeling. They're doing new installs. They're doing drain fields. They're doing septic tank repairs and relines, or what all the things involved in it. How has your business evolved over the last 30, 40, 50 years? I mean, can you kind of give us a couple-minute dissertation of how your business has evolved and changed where it used to be and what it is now?
Sure, and we talk on here a lot about the technical side,
Mm-hmm.
the pieces parts, but I think probably the best way that it's evolved is the service industry, not just plumbing, but a lot of other service industries, including yours,
Mm-hmm.
have evolved. For us, years ago we would send a guy in just for, if he was a good technician, technically proficient, hey, he was a good plumber, we'd send him in your house. We didn't care if he tracked in your house or smoked in your house
Mm-hmm.
or left a mess. So, now we've got more conscious of, hey, the customer really cares about their home.
Mm-hmm.
They expect you to fix the plumbing problem, but they also expect you to be courteous and do a good job and clean up after yourselves. And the other thing that we more modern service companies are doing is they're giving the price up front. They're confident in their abilities
Mm-hmm.
to properly price a job. So Mrs. Jones knows what it's going to take to repair that problem before it starts, so she can make a good, wise decision rather than saying, here's a blank check, I don't care what it costs. The clock is ticking.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we do differently that it has evolved over the years.
I did not know about. I see how much I did not know plumbers before could not give a price up front because, well, I guess you didn't know what you were going to do because, well, you probably didn't have the ability to diagnose it properly other than just experience.
Sure. Well, yeah, and that's true too. So we know about how long it takes to change out a water heater, just like how long it takes to change oil.
Mm-hmm.
We know the labor times, so we can with confidence say, hey, we're going to give you a price up front,
Okay.
and then we take the burden if the job doesn't go right.
So
If that task
Yeah.
doesn't go right.
y'all got a flat rate manual?
A labor guide, yes.
We have what's called a flat rate manual, and it tells the number, amount of hours and time for under warranty and non-warranty for changing a water pump or changing an alternator or whatever it may be. I didn't know if your industry had those same standards. Like what?
Right. We have national averages,
Mhm. All right.
and we build a manual off of those national
Good.
averages.
Good.
So if we have a slow plumber who may be a great plumber, the customer is not penalized for him taking a little bit longer, or if a technician's a little bit faster, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
But we carry the burden of the overages and not the customer.
Well, the same thing in our business. It's kind of funny. We had a customer came in with a car, been working on it. Oh, I guess he'd done about $3,000 worth of work on the vehicle. I mean, he put just about every part on there, and he brings it to us. He says, "Can you fix this car?" And I said, "Well, give me an hour to diagnose it, and I'll tell you what I can do." Well, we diagnosed it. I said, "Yes, sir, we can fix this car. It takes about 3 hours to do it. We need to change the fuel pump on it. What's wrong with it?" And he says, "That's all that's wrong with it is the fuel pump?" I said, "Yes, sir, it's the fuel pump that's bad." And he said, "Okay, change the fuel pump." Well, we went to change the fuel pump, and it said 3 hours is what the book time was, draining and all that. But we've done so many of them, we know a shortcut. We pulled the bed off the truck instead of dropping the tank down, and we did it in about an hour, almost 2 hours. And we got finished with it, and he said, "You still going to charge me 3 hours?" I said, "Yes, sir. I'm still going to charge you 3 hours because it took that technician about 4 years to learn that trick. They did it in 2 hours instead of 3 hours because we've done so many of them." Now, last week when he was in here, we had a job that's supposed to be 3 hours. That took him 7 hours. I didn't charge the customer 7 hours. I charged him 3 hours.
You neglected
Sure.
to say that the reason you could pull the bed is because you have lifts and people to
Yes,
do that.
yes.
I mean, it's not like it just magically raises itself.
No, I
off
wish
the
it was
truck.
magically levitate off the bed of the truck, but we've learned a lot of tricks over the years how to fix things. The book will give us a time to do something, and if you get really good at it, you pick up some tricks the same way your plumbers do. They get really good at
Absolutely.
learning how to put. I bet you some of those plumbers you got can probably change a toilet in 10 minutes or less. I mean, maybe,
Oh, sure.
Maybe that's an exaggeration, but the point being, it'd take me an hour to put down a wax ring, do everything right, where these guys have done it so much, and, so much, and I think the book may charge an hour, and they could probably do it in 10 or 15 minutes, but the customer just wants it done correctly, and that's what they care about. Quickly and get it done correctly. And I think that's what our industry and your industry is doing. We're selling service. The days of Gomer Pyle working on cars, that don't know what they're talking about. When I say Gomer Pyle, the caricature of Gomer Pyle, that don't know anything about mechanics or electronics. And the same thing about plumbers. It's evolved where it's more technical than it ever has been. It's just amazing what y'all have to know in order to keep us safe and healthy out there. I never thought about all the changes, how we eradicated polio, mainly because of indoor plumbing.
The Black Plague.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, mainly due to indoor plumbing. Sanitary conditions have improved our quality of life and how long we live by years. I mean, back in the 50s, I think the average age, my grandfather died at 49. I was like 55, 60 years old. Now we got people living to be 100 years old, quite common.
Sure.
So thanks to your industry out there, you're helping people live longer. Now, didn't you tell me you're looking for people to come to work for you? We got 3 minutes.
We sure are. We are. We're always looking for good people. And, on that note, we're looking for people with good home training. Mm-hmm. We'll teach them the technical side. But if they have mechanical abilities and really enjoy working with folks, we can teach them the plumbing side. That's easier than teaching them how to clean up after themselves.
Is that the truth? It really is. You can teach the skill part, but certain things you can't really teach. That home training was something that you're brought up with. That yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and yes or no, sir, and wiping your feet off before you walk in and removing your hat. Those are things that, they're a little difficult. Sometimes that's why I hire technicians to stay in the back and just work on cars. I don't want you having any contact. No contact with customers, please.
Sure.
And they can call you at 763-2001. And that goes.
Right.
Is that your direct line?
That goes directly to the office.
Okay,
sure does.
Okay, I want to make sure that's your direct line, because that's the number you need to call and tell them that you're looking for a job, or you want to get some bio-choice to make sure you can do preventive maintenance on your drains, or you need to have your home looked at or your septic tank looked at, because you're not sure if you have a problem, and they can come and take a look at it and tell you if you have a problem in the making. And it really doesn't take long for y'all to make a decision. And can you not show the customer what kind of problem they have with your bore scopes and all that? I call it bore scopes.
Oh, sure. That we have technologies to show them inside their pipes. We try to keep them involved in every step of the way so that they feel comfortable with the money they're spending and the decisions they're making.
Well, in my business, I find out a more educated customer spends more money wisely. They're spending money.
Sure.
They're spending money that needs to be spent, and they understand what they're getting. If they don't if they're not involved in the diagnostic and repair process, then they sometimes feel like, well, what did I really get? But if they know what's being done, they see a before and after picture. It's like we do that on wave patterns on fuel pumps and stuff. It'll give them an idea of what they're getting and make them feel like they got their money's worth. And to me, that's very, very important. Extremely important. Okay, Scott, thank you so much for calling. We'll be talking to you again next week. And if they want to get up with you, 763-2001, Mr. Reuter Plumbing. But what are you, third or fourth generation plumber now?
Oh, well, I'm a third generation. I have a fourth generation working with us.
All right. That's
we're moving right along.
Even better. All right, fourth generation plumbers. All right, we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
James Auto Center, we fix it right.